number 8, remembering a mistake after durood, after salam. So we mentioned that you read at-tahiyyat, the full at-tahiyyat, then you do salam to the right, and then you do your 2 sajdas. What if a person, he was in the last sitting, he read at-tahiyyat, he's read his durood sharif, and he was reading dua, and then he remembered, I made a mistake that was necessitated Sajdah Sahw. He remembered after reading durood and at-tahiyyat and dua. So the answer is, that is fine. Upon remembering, he'll just do the Sajdah Sahw. Because as we mentioned before, the precautious opinion is to read durood and dua anyway before you do the Sajdah Sahw. So if you remember whilst reading durood or dua, then upon remembering, you just do salam to the right and do your 2 sajdas. What about if you remember after doing salam? So you've read your durood, you've read your dua, you've said assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Now what? And then you remember. If you remember immediately, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, light bulb moment, you remember straight away, Allahu Akbar. Just go into sajda, do your 2 sajdas, and that's it. You do your tashahud again, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. What about if you did both salams and you were doing zikr, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, astaghfirullah, 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 Allahumma anta salam wa minka salam, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. You were doing your zikr azkar, and then you remembered that, oh no, I made a mistake, I have to do Sajdah Sahw. So even then, if you remember, you will do the Sajdah Sahw. Remember then, you do your Sajdah Sahw and you finish the namaz as normal. Number 3, you remembered, you done your salam both ways, and then you were talking, ji janab, kya haal hai? Or, begum sahab, roti bana lo. You started talking. Okay, if you did such an act which invalidates the salah, then you can't do the Sajdah Sahw now. Now it'll be necessary to repeat the salah. By doing such an act which invalidates the salah, you can't now just go do the Sajdah Sahw again. Rather, it will be necessary to repeat that salah within the time frame. And if you remembered after the time frame passes, then it'll be recommended to repeat that salah. Number 4, one exemption to doing an action which would invalidate the salah is if a person, he did salam both way, he stood up, he's turned his chest away from the qibla, so he's walking out of the masjid, and then he remembered, oh no, I've still got a Sajdah Sahw. Now remember, turning the chest away from the qibla, we mentioned this, is that would invalidate the salah. But here he's turned his chest completely away, he's walking out the masjid. The scholars have written that this is an exemption. As long as he is still in the masjid, he will just return back to his Sajdah Sahw. So he'll sit back down again and do 2 sajdas and read at-tahiyyat and finish the salam. So this is the only act that is exempt. That if you stood up and turned your chest away, then you can do Sajdah Sahw. But if you talked, or if you started eating, etc., then you can't do the Sajdah Sahw now. Now you'll have to repeat the salah.